Hi, my name is Andrea. I'm 40 years old. I come from Croatia, a beautiful country in Europe. And as far as what is it that I do, I used to be a ballerina my whole life, actually for 33 years. Sounds so long, because it was. And now I'm in the health business. What does that mean? It means that I work with people like yourself on elevating their human performance. It's all science-based. It's in nutrition, fitness, but also stress management and everything else that impacts your well-being. So yeah, that's me. I was 5 years old. I wasn't even aware that life exists, yeah, my dad just one day came and mom, and they asked like, oh, do you want to dance ballet? I was like, what is it? They're like, well, you're dancing around the apartment, you're gonna like it. I was like, okay. So it didn't start because I already knew what ballet was. I just started because my parents recognized talent in me for movement, for spatial awareness, and they kind of pushed me towards that, thinking I will maybe dance for a year or two and stop. But boy, they were wrong. What actually happened, which won me over, I was maybe 6.5, and it was very unusual for a child of that age to get an opportunity to perform in a national theater, because the teacher that I had back then saw me as somebody very talented and very artistic, and I like the audience, obviously. I'm very eccentric, so she gave me an opportunity to perform like for maybe a couple of seconds in a Aurora, so the Sleeping Beauty ballet. And I was just, so there's a scene in which Aurora, little the Sleeping Beauty, they show like she's growing up. So first you have this little ballerina entering, la 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 la, and exiting, like literally 3 seconds, I'm not kidding. Then the bigger one, and then the grown-up ballerina bowing. I was the first one. So I entered and exited. My dad didn't even see me. He was like, oh, you are beautiful. I didn't see her. So yeah, he told me later. But having 6.5 years, being in front of thousands of people, and the lights on the stage, that was it. I was like, okay, that's it. Yeah, I love attention. So I think what won me over wasn't ballet at that moment. It was me standing on stage and having attention, really. And the amount of power you have, like when everybody looking at you and how you feel, it's really empowering. And that was it. I kind of screwed up my parents' life because of it. Because afterwards, it was all about ballet. Them driving me to my job, then school, right? And it's a demanding thing for parents. It's a lot of sacrifices that parents need to do in order for the child to prevail. Being a ballerina means one thing that most of the people will be aware. It's a huge stress on your body and on your mind, emotionally and physically. And in a way, it deteriorates your body and mind. It really wears you off, I would say. No matter how much I love dance, it really destroyed certain parts of me in a not too good way. And coming to where I'm right now, the reason for which I ended up where I am was to heal my body and mind. I could maybe try to say some other things that like were problems that I had back then that maybe come here. But all in all, if I would say it in general, it was how to heal my body and mind to be healthy, happy, energized, and how to live better after 33 years of ballet. So that's how I ended up in health business, and especially working with people, because I always, even as a ballerina, enjoyed giving people. It makes me feel good, it makes me feel useful, and it gives me a purpose. I started when I was 5, and I ended it, well, around COVID, actually. It was like, I mean, classical ballet, I stopped doing maybe earlier because it took token on my body. But then I kept on doing modern ballet and contemporary dance, and I quit all that during COVID. actually right before it started. It was like a good excuse because I was already thinking about it. So I just stopped. I dance now only for fun. Well, I would say that ballet taught me a couple of things. One of the biggest ones is that I can survive anything. Uh, Many people believe ballet is hard because it's physically demanding. And I would agree that's 101% correct. But what a lot of people don't understand it is that it's very mentally and emotionally demanding. You have to win a battle with yourself at the very early stages of your life. You're a child. You are not yet a formed person. And you learn that pain is the only path towards greatness, towards confirmation, and towards love, which I find very wrong because I believe it transfers into everyday life for many dancers, not only ballerinas, ballerinas mostly, right? Because it's more demanding than other types of dance. And then you learn this behavior, you have a narrative that teaches you, oh, I should smile when I'm not feeling good. Uh, if I'm in a relationship with friends, with partners, at a job, whatever, I will get gratification if it's really hard. If it's not hard enough, then it doesn't make sense for me to do it. It's not worthy. So those are the bad things about ballet. But at the same time, they make you so freaking resilient that I don't believe there's anything I've ever experienced that would make me so resilient to life as ballet. So that it's yeah. And it brought so much discipline. I can do things I don't want to do like this. Literally, whatever. You just tell me what I need to do, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make myself do it without a blink. And of course, that's good and bad. There's yin and yang in it, right? So I had to unlearn some things from ballet for sure to be healthier and happier. And I think it's a process that I will be in forever, but it's getting better by the minute. And right now, I would say in my 40s, I finally think like I've came to a place where I balanced the former narrative, which had bad and good, and turned it only into good. I feel like I'm grounded right now, and I'm really mentally, physically, and emotionally healed from everything that ballet took from me. I believe that me learning how to come from a ballerina history to the one where to the life that I'm living right now meant that the journey, the healing journey, obviously I managed to turn into a business. And I would lie if I would say it's different. It wasn't. I believe many people, if they're smart and good at what they do, they kind of make it oh, oh, okay, profit, yeah, for sure. But not only profit, they make it into something that has leverage, something that they can earn money from and enjoy in. I believe many people today, especially younger people watching this, often have this question, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And it's very hard for them to find what that might be because there is so many options today. Like when we were kids, you would go to college and then you would be what you studied, right? And now you can change what you're doing in a second, in a heartbeat. When you're 65, you can go to a college, you could become a doctor, you could become whatever. Of course, maybe not, I don't know, a dancer in your 65. But then again, who knows, right? So for younger generations, I believe it's very important for them to find what they really enjoy in, not maybe 101%, but generally, and then to find out how to make living out of it. So they would at the same time do what makes them feel good and earn money from it. Too many people work jobs they don't feel happy about. I was lucky enough to have parents who pushed me into first job that I enjoyed, even though it was very hard for me. And then they supported me changing the whole like career into something that's right here, right now. Of course, that was kind of also logical because my mom's a doctor. and my dad was in sports his whole life. So I was influenced by health surroundings my whole life. So it made sense for me to go that path. I was even thinking I would like to be a doctor. Even right now when I'm talking to you, I'm still attracted towards science and medicine more than into anything else. I believe that I won't do it right now, but at the same time, am involved in my team, which are scientists, doctors, right? I'm constantly learning from them and growing because I really want to be able to help my clients in a certain level, which is me assessing what is it that they need. So then I can like literally give them guidance, what might be their next step. For me, that's really important. Detecting what is it that will be the click for them to be able to be healthier and better, that little one thing that's going to change everything. And being surrounded by people in science and medicine, I believe for me as a coach and nutritionist is of highest importance. Fun fact about my parents. Okay. My mom is a doctor, but she used to sing and play harmonics when she was a child. In the block. Yeah. And my dad finished law and he's into finances, but he wrote many different books. He also wrote poems. He's very into philosophy and yoga, and he did judo as a martial art for many of his years. So my parents are a blend that really transferred to me in every possible way. So I think I was lucky enough to have parents who helped me both with, I would say, logistic part of my brain, right? And artistic one. Yeah, left and right brain were equally nurtured in my childhood. And then later on, even right now. My dad is helping me with my webpage and with my business. He writes all the contracts that I need. And my mom helps me with whatever I need medically wise. Like if my client has a blood work result and he needs, I need, I need actually to get amen on him working out with me or doing something. I'm just calling my mom. Can you check up the blood work? Is he allowed to do what I want him to do? You know? So, yeah, they're still involved in my life, 100%, and my job, actually. They don't want to get paid for it, unfortunately. I want to pay them, but they're like, no, yeah, okay. I don't think it was one moment in time. I think it was a multiple events happening throughout a couple of years that made me shift towards where I am right now. One of them was me feeling pain in my body, which I didn't like. I always was genetically, thanks mom and dad, very, very fit, very capable of doing things that other people can do. And I always had freedom in my body. And becoming restricted, let's give an example. When you're dancing on point shoes 24/7, what happens in the morning when you wake up, you are unable to stand on your feet before warming them a bit up because you feel excruciating pain in your toes, in your ankles, and you're unable to walk for the first couple of, well, minutes. I was like, no, I'm not gonna be that person that has like 28 and can't walk in the morning. Fuck no. This is not sustainable. Then at the same time, I noticed plenty of people that wanted to learn ballet, but not actually perform. They were in their 30s or 40s and just wanted to dance because they enjoyed dancing when they were maybe kids, or they always fell in love with ballet, felt they're in love with ballet, but didn't have a chance. And I was like, okay, let's make this recreational. Third thing was I needed money because being a dancer is like you're basically broke for 24/7 and you're trying to connect the dots to be able to eat. I mean, it kind of supports me being thin, but at the same time, it's not a good thing, right? So I started teaching classes in order to have more money, support myself better, and pay my bills, pay my apartment, right? So it was multiple of things happening. And also one thing that led to my change of narrative was me meeting a girl named Emma. who I want to mention. She later on became my business partner. We opened a dance company and together directed and choreographed 5 full-on theater pieces that actually even toured and became quite famous about it in my country. Yeah, I think I'm in my country, I'm a person of public. I'm not gonna say I'm a celebrity, but people know who I am because I did that, right? And I'm very proud of it. I mean, now when I look at it back, oh my God, I actually directed and choreographed like theater pieces. Wow. Because when I was doing it, it was like so chaotic that I was even not aware of the fact that I have hundreds of people looking at artistic thing that I did, that I created with Emma, right? So starting to work with her and at the same time starting to teach and everything kind of all rolled out while me being in pain physically, into changing my movement while we were doing pieces in order to make all of that for my dancers who are performing for me healthier. Like, what will support my body performing longer, not only for dancing purposes, but for life purposes? And what can I do to make my dancers, me, and the community surrounding me feel better day to day in their body, as well as myself, right? And that's how I started doing more mobility. I started exploring the body mechanically more than ever because I was curious. So that's how it started. So, I mean, one of the parts of how it started. And then it rolled out into more serious things because people who recognized that wanted to collaborate with me because they knew that I'm already thinking very widely. Like, I would think hormonal health, nutrition, mental health. I would think about all of those things being a part of a big picture that makes a person healthy long term. As I like to say, to live not to add years to life, but rather life to the years ahead. Because to be alive, is it enough? I don't think so. I mean, you can be alive connected on the machines in the hospital. Doesn't mean you're living, right? And I don't want to be that person. I want to go with a big bang. When I'm going to die, I want it to be doing something physically and having fun, not lying in a hospital bed on machines, right? So I think we can impact that. We cannot know how will we die, and I think the topic of death, even though it's dark, we should stop thinking about it as dark because it's an elementary part of life. What makes you alive is the fact that you will die. It's your opposite, right? So yin and yang don't exist without one another. So being aware of the death is a really important part of living. And I want people to not be scared of it. And they won't be if they will know that everything they're doing right now adds to them not maybe having 100 control over how they will die, but making the percentage and likelihood of dying sooner and less alive lower. Yes. So I think we can, in a way, impact the quality of our life and vitality ahead. And that's what I'm trying to do with my clients. I'm trying to teach them how to stay longer, fully vivid. The last step that happened in my life and my build up and widening of my businesses was that I realized I'm a person that likes a structure in a day, in a week, in a month, in a life. And I wanted to structure the knowledge that I got and create it into something that people can use with or without me. Because I cannot spread my energy 24/7 to everybody. And I realized I need to find a way to help people without giving myself fully. Because in that way, I could stay longer alive as well, right? I mean, energy, I have it a lot. You can see that. I'm a very energetic person. Ever since I was born, I'm a giver of when it comes to energy. And I'm, as people say, a charger, you know? I charge. But I also get empty. And that's why making my programs made me stay charged for longer. It meant me being empty while I create them, but then having a life ahead that I have more energy for. So I did a couple of things. Um, After I finished doing the theater pieces, I had more time because we kind of stopped doing the theater pieces at one point because of COVID. And I was like, okay, now it's the time that I could address some other things as well. And before COVID started, I was already doing my Ant Ballet program, which is a program that's a structured, modified ballet for recreational purposes. It's built up in a way anybody, no matter the age, no matter the sex, no matter the abilities, can start doing it anytime in their lifetime. Zero experience. So we have kids from 12, and the oldest person that was doing it, she passed away, unfortunately, was 72. She started when she was like 69. So the point given, the program it has components of ballet class as they were built from whenever ballet was created, right? But at the same time, it has added things, and I removed some stuff that I found harmful for people who are doing it for recreational purposes. And also, I wondered why to do it anyways, because it's not bringing any use to your mobility, to your strengthening, to your vitality. I'm just going to ditch that. I'm going to leave this, and I'm going to add other stuff that will support you doing ballet that is actually like every other sport, not completely healthy, right? So, for instance, ballerinas open their legs like this, right? I said, no, it's going to be a natural position. Or we're not going to do point shoes. Why the hell would somebody do point shoes? It's excruciating pain. No. We're going to do jumps because plyometry is very important, especially for women in menopause, because hits make the bone more dense. So it helps support your bone health, right? But we're not going to do them like for half an hour as we would on ballet or very fast. They're going to be slower. They're going to be like better built into the program, and they're going to be after all the other things that make you ready for them, right? In a class. And that's how N Ballet was created. Later on, I turned it into an education. So whoever is watching this can enroll into me educating them to become an N Ballet instructor. So it's a franchise. And it's being taught in my training center, my gym in my country, and as well in others. So it became something that's bigger than just a program. And people know me for it in my country, and I'm very proud of it. Second thing that I built after finishing this was an online, I would say, platform. First, it was just an online workout program, which was here to show people how to change their habits in a healthy way and make them sustainable for life. What I really hate about fitness programs, and I'm sorry, friends, if you're doing fitness programs like that, is that mainly they're built for what people want, a quick fix. And I hate it. Because quick fix is not something that's sustainable, and it's not something that most often is even healthy. And I wanted, even though I knew that not too many people will like to enroll in something like that takes time, that you need to adhere to, is like, no, I just want my bum to look better for a dress, for summer, for a wedding. I was like, I don't care. Maybe my audience, maybe my market won't be big, but I will still do what I believe in. And I build a program. It has videos that are follow along. It has bunch of amazing educational content, like ebooks that were written not only by me, but by those doctors and scientists that work with me. We have multiple Zoom calls that are for free for the users. And also it has something that I considered really important to incorporate, which is breath work and relaxations. Because you cannot only train if you don't support your recovery. So I constantly tell people, okay, it's good for you to train, but you need to also recover. And then the crown of it was, of course, nutrition. That's why I built a cookbook into it, and I'm doing a bigger one right now that's going to be soon also available on my platform, because I want people to build a healthy, good relationship with food, I had problems with it. I had an eating disorder for many years while I was a ballerina and afterwards as well. And I work with people as a nutrition mentor on building a healthy relationship with food, as well as achieving their goals, right? Somebody wants to lose weight, somebody wants to gain weight, somebody wants to get more muscular, somebody just wants to feel good or heal their gut. People have different needs, and the platform itself is here primarily to support whatever they have as their end goal, with me helping them to get there. So it's like also a huge group of people communicating, which I think it's the biggest value of it, because whoever thinks they can do anything alone, they're wrong. I used to be a person who believed that I can do everything by myself. And the older I get, the more I realize, yeah, it's sleep, it's nutrition, it's stress management, it's training, but it's also community support and love, which makes you capable of doing all the former mentioned. So that support group, where there's a couple of, I think it's already now 100 and something people. Yeah. They communicate. Sometimes I even don't have time to read all because they're like so fast and they're really on it. Like if somebody has a problem, everybody are engaged to help them. Yeah. Like and they share, like recently one of them shared, girls, I want to say something. So, do you feel like shit when you start eating like I don't know, chips, and then you can't stop, and then you eat another one and another one, and I really feel like I binged on it, and then I felt really bad. Then I didn't want to go out of my house because I felt like I was fat, I was ugly. So does anybody else feel like this? And then boom, like I was like, oh my god, everybody. It was like sharing something very intimate and very vulnerable, I believe, for all of them, and supporting her with it. So it was beautiful. The franchise and ballet program, you can easily do it only twice per week. I always tell to people always think of dance, because if you were a former dancer, you will know that you need to do something every day in order to really be on it. But if you're doing something for fun, I don't think it should be a burden for you to have an idea, I need to be able to do this in 5 years. It's okay to have a goal, but I also always tell the people, please, it's okay to see the top of the mountain, but you're not going to get there if you're constantly going to fall over your feet because you're not looking at the floor and while you're walking. So please just one step at a time. One step at a time. And with ballet, I believe you need patience and you need to be aware that it's going to take a lot of time, which is okay because even though we often say we don't have time, we do. I mean, I'm 40 and I plan to live 100 at least. And imagine, like to anybody watching this, like really, people imagine this. Imagine, let's say you are 40 as me. Today, we don't live until we're 60. We live until we're 80 or 90. Imagine you still have so many years ahead. What the hell would you do? Like, I'm on this planet for 40 years and I'm gonna be more of that. Oh my God, it's so long. It's long. It's not short, it's long. It is lower in quality if you don't invest right now into your health, into your mobility, into your nutrition, because then when you're gonna be older, you're not gonna be functional. But still, it's a long time. So you have time. We have time. Yeah. So 21st century is hard for many things, and one of them is overflow of information and the speed we live. And because of it, it's very hard to stay consistent in anything because everything constantly changes. You're being bombarded with information, what you have to do today, now, because if you don't do it now, you're not going to be able to do it ever, and then you're going to die and you didn't do what you needed to do, right? I'm over exaggerating, but that's how it feels sometimes, right? And in order for a person to be able to stay consistent, we need to slow down and we need to find focus. You cannot achieve anything if you're not focused on anything, right? I have a feeling like concentration in general, worldwide, is dropping because we are unable to stay still, to be here, and to be focused. So, my advice to people would definitely be to think about slowing down, not in some kind of, oh, I'm just going to slow down way, in a way that they think about smaller steps that are adherable and that they believe they could do forever. What does that mean? Let's say you want to lose weight, okay? And you know you should move to burn calories. At the same time, you know you need to eat food that supports the weight loss, right? You know you need to sleep because you need to recover in order to be able to train because and not to be hungrier, right? So multiple things. You can't start with everything at the same time. I mean, many people do. So they like, let's say on Monday I'm gonna start. Then they start 5 weeks training. They stop eating. They're in deficit. They like what? And then in a month they just give up. So my advice with those small steps means this, and this is what I do with clients. I give them a little list after talking to them and assessing what the list might look like. And I'm like, okay, do you think you could get up 10 minutes earlier than you do right now and stretch? Do some mobility drills that I can send you and do that every day until you die. Literally, every day, forever.
And it's just 10 minutes.
10 minutes. And then if they say yes, I say, okay, let's incorporate that and let's see what happens. And for them, it's like small enough to do it. And sometimes even like, only that, like, they don't believe that that's going to make a change, but it actually does. Why? Because in like 2 or 3 weeks, it becomes a habit. If you start to move 10 minutes upon waking up, what happens is that your nervous system detects that as a little stressor and knows you need to be awake at a certain moment in a day before that stressor starts. What happens then? You start to wake up in certain time every day. It builds structure into the day. It increases your movement, your feel good. So later on in the day, you have a need to move more, which contributes to your need, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is the biggest part of calorie usage in a day, not exercise, NEAT. So first is your basal metabolic rate, right? The fact that you're alive, breathing, and heart beating. Then it's NEAT, and then exercise. Exercise is basically not burning calories at all. People often think they need to train hard to lose weight. No. Sweat is not fat crying, please. Sweat is your body regulating temperature. I'm sorry. So if you sweat a lot, it doesn't mean you're burning fat. And fat burn is not the same as burning fat. But that's a specific topic we can discuss on my social media. But very important is for people then to see that this small step makes a huge impact on the future goal. And then when it becomes a habit, then you can stick something new to it. Okay, you do 10 minutes in the morning, just this. Do you feel more energized? Yeah, I do, because people always start to feel more. Okay, do you think maybe we could add 2 strength trainings per week, maybe just half an hour, something easy? Or maybe can you go to sleep like instead of 12, 11:30, or for instance, how many coffees do you drink per day? 4 with sugar. Can we make them 3 with half a spoon of sugar? Or can we maybe not drink coffee 10 hours before sleep so it doesn't impair your sleep, because then you don't enter all the phases of the sleep. Then you wake up tireder. And is that a word? I don't know. And then you need to eat more because you're tired. Can we do that? We can. Perfect. So it's about the small steps, always. So stop thinking about, have this idea of a big picture, the end game, right? The top that you're climbing, but maybe the mountain that you think you need to climb is not actually the mountain you should climb. And during the process of climbing, you will realize that, and maybe just stay in a certain height that feels good, where you feel happy, where there's enough fresh air and a beautiful view, and that's going to be enough. So I think the journey is always much more important than the whole idea of that end goal. I do repeat, it's good to have it. It's a motivation. But the bigger motivation might be something completely different that you will realize in time if you pay attention to the journey. Because the journey should be fun. You should explore how you feel on that journey. It's okay if it's hard. It should be hard. life, if I mean, it's gonna be easy when you're dead. So being alive makes it hard, and that's beautiful. That's art, yeah. Yeah, I am a digital nomad, even though I do own a business in my country. But here, I don't work, I don't have kitas. I basically work online. I came here for the first time in 2018, and ever since then, I've been coming on and off for, at the beginning, maybe a month or two, and now it's always for 6 months. I'm on business visa, and I basically run my gym in my country there, and I do work with my clients online as well as I did in my country, so I can be anywhere. And I chose Bali because I just love you guys. Well, I would say living as a digital nomad, if you are able to support yourself financially, is a dream. But it takes what people don't understand a lot of investment in the beginning of your time and money in order to build it so it would be sustainable. It doesn't happen overnight. We're talking years. A lot of people think it's like, I'm just going to be an influencer. I'm gonna like, no, 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 no. Yeah, but no. Doesn't work that way. I mean, it does for some who are very lucky, but how many of those do we know? So for me, it's very important wherever I go and wherever I travel or stay at to have my daily structure. With that, I'm very consistent. I believe that structure is the only thing that gives us freedom. Because if you don't have a day that's structured, then you're just flowing through the day, not knowing where you're going to end up, which could be okay for a certain phase in life. But if you want to be successful, if you want to be healthy, and if you want to thrive in life, you have to have a structure, right? My life here in Croatia or anywhere else is always the same when it comes to structure. For me, it means this. I wake up early morning, I train, then I have my coffee, my breaky, whatever. Then I cook my lunch, then I have clients, and then I have dinner and keep on with my day. This is very general, right? But the only difference that would be in my country would be the time when I have my online clients because of the time difference. But everything else is similar. The difference with Bali in other countries is in the fact that here, my social life is much better than everywhere else. And the reason is because of your culture, because of your warmth, and because of you welcoming people here in such a beautiful way. That's why I'm here and not somewhere else. And because it's warm, of course, because I hate cold. One thing that Bali lacks when it comes to me is paved floors. I love to walk. In Europe, it's a thing. You walk everywhere. Here you can't. So, botanical gardens, I love them. There you can walk anywhere you want. It's beautiful. It's in nature. It's like, yeah. Because I went for a little trip to Munduk, and then on my way back, I just found, oh, botanical gardens. And I thought, oh, it's something probably like in Europe, like a little place, like a zoo. You walk around, you go, you see some plants. Hell no, it's huge. It's beautiful. I spent 2 hours there walking. I think I actually walked like 7 kilometers, which is for Bali really like highly likely not happening because the only place you can walk is the beach, right? And let's just say that not all the beaches are as pretty as people believe, but still coming back to one thing, and that is that I don't care. Because even though my country has, I would say, more better facility, yeah, it doesn't have warmth and love of people. So the reason for which I'm always coming here back is because of the community. I never experienced anything like it anywhere in the world. And I think I transfer that to people via my social media a lot because plenty of people who contact me that I know or not know, that are just acquaintances, always tell me like, Andrea, you are here, you sparkle different. You look so happy. Yeah, because I'm surrounded with happiness and positivity. And in Europe, things are kind of not too positive anymore. Yeah, people, I think Western people they're lost. They forgot about connection, and they think that Being alone and thriving in life is what they need to be able to succeed. Without the support of others, who will you even share it with? Contact me. Yeah, like I think people often try different things and experiment without proper guidance. And that makes them feel demotivated because they don't see the results. I think proper guidance and somebody helping you find a structured way for you, personalized, tailored, right, is a better way to start. And even though people sometimes think, oh, it's expensive, it costs money, think of it as an investment that's going to pay off 101%. So it's actually not paying more because I do believe that pills and medicine cost much more than investing into your future with a proper coach, proper nutrition mentor, proper plan. So yeah, that's one. And the second thing would be something I already mentioned, that is small steps. Of course, if you don't want to work with me, I can recommend some other coaches, of course, depending if you want to work in live and not online, for instance. But in general, if you are starting the journey by yourself, have in mind small steps are bigger than large ones, even though it sounds bizarre what I'm saying, but they are. Just start with something you find you can do every day forever. And then when you do it for a while, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, then stick something new on it. And then just build, slowly. Coco Chanel. which which goes which goes beautifully with your brand because when I checked out your social media and everything, what I noticed is high amount of simplicity, profound beauty aesthetic wise, and I'm all about aesthetics, and a pinch of luxury. So I think it goes perfectly with the first thought of Coco Chanel. Guys, thank you for listening to my knowledge, and thank you for being here with me, and thank you guys for inviting me. Also, in case you want to enroll and work with me, you can use my online program. It's, as mentioned, a beautiful support system that will help you stay consistent and achieve your goals. Also, go on my webpage, and I think that's it for today. I wish you a beautiful day, and don't forget to move. Bye.